What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. If you guys have any suggestions for the afternoon stream, please leave it down in the comments below. Or if you just have any questions in general, you can do that as well. What's up? Mr. Rud Puts, Little Time Mining, Alan the King. Good to see you guys. Gaming with Smokey Dan. We have Kyle Rosa, Automatic Beats. What's up, man? Good to see all of you this morning. Magic Lucky, Geek of All Trades, The Pirate, Nerd Beast. What's up, dude? Dumpster Fire, my man. Sadie Sometimes. Good to see you. Who else? I think I said pretty much everybody. Chris Hanley, Alex Petro. What's up, buddy? Crypto Craig, The Travelers Travels. You guys are awesome. Sorry, my kid's not feeling too well this morning, so I was helping the wife because she has to get ready for work. All right, let's get into checking out the market first off, and then once we do that, we will get into the articles I want to read. And actually, CoinDesk has some pretty good videos out today, so I'll leave a link to every channel and article that we read down in the description below, just so you guys know. All right, let's get this up. Look at that. So we're looking at low 24s for BTC. So as you guys know, it was pushing the 25 mark, right? And clearly it can't get over it. So I wonder if it's going to be able to push through it this week. I guess we'll have to see. 1650 or so for ETH, 1645. Doge still 8.5 cents. LTC's at 93 bucks. That's kind of brutal, but whatever, it's all right. I just like seeing it over 100 because they all 7, obviously, being a miner, kind of natural. Fear and Greed Index 59. Let's see, what do we got for the top 10 coins? Let me scroll this, get a little closer. So BNB is 4, Tether's 3. We have obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum still. USD Coin 5, XRP 6, Cardano, Polygon, Binance USD, and OKB still in 10th. OKB still doing pretty good, huh? I guess it's down 4.7% today, but overall, not too bad. All right, this is the article I wanted to read today. This is the U.S. crypto regulation happening behind closed doors. Blockchain Association CEO. Let me just pull up the chat. If you guys have any questions, please just at me, and then we'll be able to take care of it. How is my left eye today? Good. I honestly think I just need to stop staring at the computer. So I just laid down and closed my eyes. So I appreciate you asking that. Thank you, Mr. Sloth Squash. In the afternoon stream, can we talk about why you have to go to another site to buy pads for Hawks? Oh my God. Yeah, it was pretty brutal last night. I'm not going to lie. So we'll talk about that towards the end a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to hate on anybody. I love all of them. Crypto Vidal's awesome. Hawk's awesome. It's just a bad moment, you know? All right, let's get into this. So here we go. The work has been done, it says in quotations, for stable coin regulation in the US, but many in Washington, D.C. are feeling burned and betrayed over the FTX collapse last year, which is quite understandable. How do I get rid of this stupid bars? Anybody know? Can I move it? No. God, this is annoying. There should be like an X to get rid of that. Anyways. All right. So it goes on to say, the United States Congress needs to take control of crypto legislation and make it a more open process where the entire marketplace is looked at comprehensively, suggests Kristen Smith, CEO of the Blockchain Association, a prominent U.S. crypto industry nonprofit. That's advertisement. Then it says in February 22, Bloomberg interview, Smith said the industry needs U.S. lawmakers to lead crypto legislation despite its making the process very slow, with regulators stepping in the interim. So stepping in was in quotations. Smith noted that despite wow, I need to learn how to read. Smith noted that despite regulators moving very quickly, progress on legislation is happening behind closed doors, suggesting it's vital for more industry involvement in an open process, which would involve Congress. Smith believes the issue with regulators leading legislation with enforcement actions and settlements relates to very specific facts and circumstances. She explained it's a difficult position for Congress at the moment, as many in Washington, D.C. who were close to former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX feel burned and betrayed over the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange in November 2022. Smith is hopeful that the stablecoin regulation will soon happen in the U.S., saying Congress has been looking at it since 2019, and the work has been done. She said it came close to happening last year before the FTX collapse. Huh, interesting. And then it says related. It says FTX poked the bear and the bear is pissed. Kevin O'Leary. Must have said that somewhere. That's a link I guess I click on, but I'm not going to. She added the crypto risks are different from traditional finance services, so regulators must spend more time looking at market regulation and tailor to those risks. Smith suggests that stablecoin and market-side regulation should be a higher priority than focusing on legislating crypto-related criminal activity, saying that public ledgers make it much more transparent than we see in the traditional financial system. This comes after the Blockchain Association's chief policy officer, Jake Travinsky, took on Twitter on February 15th, stating that no matter how many enforcement actions the Securities and Exchange Commissions and Commodity Futures Trading Commission bring, they are bound by legal reality, adding that neither has the authority to comprehensively regulate crypto. Interesting. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I thought that was a pretty important article anyways. Obviously they're taking steps a lot harder now after the whole FTX collapse, because again, the FTX collapse didn't just affect the people that lost money. It affected like the way everything worked, because this Sam Bankman-Fried, right? He donated to political parties, and he just kind of intertwined himself with all of the regulation stuff, right? Like with all the SEC, like that, what's this guy's name, Gary or whatever, they took money from him, right, for the political parties and all that. So it just kind of mixed so much shit into one barrel that they're gonna have to figure it all out now, because it's just they can't trust anybody at this point. And I think that's why they're kind of going after the whole Kraken thing, where they stop the staking stuff over there and fine them 30 million or whatever the hell that was all about. But either way, I want to get into a couple videos over here from CoinDesk. They had some pretty good ones today, actually. They talked to the Coinbase chief policy officer. It says, we need Congress to step up on crypto regulation. And this is kind of elaborating on, I guess, Coinbase's take. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away in the chat. I'm just going to not full screen it, but we're going to play this, listen to it. And if you guys have any questions, yeah, we'll do it. All right, let me mute the music. Let's do it.
Joining us now for more reaction is Coinbase Chief Policy Officer Faryar Shahzad. Faryar, would love to get your thoughts on the SEC charges against the
Gary Gensler. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, rather. He said. Oh my God, I'm not even going to read that.
And Terraform Labs to start us off.
Geek of all trades.
Good morning, Christine, Lawrence. Good to be with you. We don't have any specific comment on the specific charges you're asking about, but it is, another example of an enforcement action that all of us then have to review and try to figure out the implications of. We have a Coinbase, and a lot of us in the ecosystem have long called for proactive, public, transparent notice and comment rulemaking. So that we'd all figure out what is a security and what's not a security. And so it's important to, review the details of any particular enforcement action that comes out of the SEC, but the focus should be on transparent rulemaking, and we hope we'll see more of that in the future.
Well, if UST ends up being an unregistered security, are crypto exchanges listing it in trouble?
Well, we list a variety of tokens on our exchange that we review very, very carefully. We all have to ultimately do our own analysis, given that the SEC won't provide a lot of.
So listen to what he's saying here. This made me, when I heard this part of the video, I started thinking about what they must think of Flux and why they haven't taken them on board, because Flux has put in their application for Coinbase, if I'm not mistaken. They've said that a few times and they just don't want to wait anymore. But what he's saying here kind of like made me second guess as to why they won't take it.
Clarity on it. And we have a very rigorous process. I think we've gone through about 1,000 different tokens in our listing process. We list 200 of them. We review to make sure they're not securities, make sure they're cyber resilient, and we look for scams and frauds. So we have a very rigorous process. We root out a lot of things that potentially could be securities so that we don't list them on our platform. But we also have an ongoing review process. So anytime we get subsequent guidance or information out of the agency, we feed it into the ongoing review process, and then we make decisions on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, well, we did see that SEC Chair Gary Gensler is warning other platforms to take note of crypto exchange Kraken's move to halt its staking service in the United States and cough up a $30 million fine. Does that put Coinbase in the line of fire?
No, not at all. Our staking program is quite a simple one. It's very different from the one that was the subject of the Kraken settlement. We're very confident that our staking offering is not a security. We're happy to defend it if it ever comes to that. But let's take a step back. It's, as I said before, another example of an enforcement action that raises 100 questions. I think it'd be a lot healthier for everyone, a lot simpler for the process, if the agency were just to simply lay out what it thinks is a security and how all of us are supposed to make that determination. And I think the viewers here play an important role in this. I think for all of you who are frustrated by what you're seeing out of your policymakers and your regulators in Washington, they ultimately work for you. And I think it's important to let your members of Congress know, let your senator know, and let the agencies know. It's only fair that all of us who are trying to build this really dynamic and transformational ecosystem should have some clear rules for the road. Not everyone is like Coinbase, where we have the ability to do the analysis and the vetting necessary to navigate the lack of clarity. But it should be a lot simpler for everyone, including small innovators and developers. And I think people should just make their voices known that we need to get to a much more fair and orderly process to make those determinations.
Yeah, Geek of all trades, absolutely correct. He said exactly. It's hard to play the game when you don't know the effing rules, and that's so true. It's just yeah, they need to have some sort of lineup. Like, you know, these are the rules you need to follow if you're going to do a staking program, and that's that.
Fire, I have a Coinbase account, very small amounts in it, but nonetheless, they were advertised on Coinbase staking. I put a fractional amount of ETH into to be staked, and I was given an APY on it. In other words, they advertise what the APY is. What is the difference? Because that seems to have been the issue with what the SEC was saying about Kraken. So what are the mechanical differences between what Kraken was offering with its APY versus what Coinbase offers with its staking programs? It seems as if the SEC doesn't like staking as a service. You're saying you're willing to defend it, but what is the difference between what are the mechanical differences between what Coinbase offers and what Kraken offers?
So anybody can stake their assets to be a part of the validation process. You can do it. I can do it. Anybody can do it. You don't need Coinbase to do that. What we do is we make it a lot simpler for people who maybe don't want to go through the process on their own to figure out how you stake your assets to be a part of that critical validation process. And so we handle that on behalf of our customers. The terms of any rewards that they get, the duration of the process, all of that is determined by the protocol, not by us. And we never take title to the customer's assets. It's always the customer's. We simply handle the process for them and hand back any rewards that they get on the other end. We take a commission on top of it. But the commission is set out at the outset. Everybody knows what the amount is before they come in to ask us for help in providing the service. So it's a very, very different product. There is no APY.
Yeah, and yet it was. There seems to have been offered an APY at the time when I saw it, because they list the percentage. So was this I'm trying to figure out. It sounds what you're describing to be a pass through, right? In other words, that I put it in and I'm open up to the variable rate of returns based on whatever the staking rewards are at any given moment. But when it was advertised, I was given it was like 4%, 3%. It was a low APY, and it seems that the way Kraken was doing was a fixed for floating swap. So that you're saying you don't do that. This is a pass through. It just goes through. You take a VIG and that's it. But why was I then offered this percentage APY? It seemed as if that was almost a guarantee.
Yeah, the terms of our program are quite clear. We don't provide any guarantees. There's no representations about what you'll make or how much you'll make. What we do offer is what we offer across our range of offerings, which is a trusted way to access the crypto ecosystem, whether it's to buy or sell tokens, or in this instance, is to participate in the validation process by putting your assets to work in validation. And so we offer that, and then we take a commission on top of it, and that's as far as it goes.
Oh, geez, I didn't mean to skip ahead. Damn it! Where the hell were we just? That was terrible. I meant to pause it. Anyways, Geek of All Trades said, in this case, give the customers the private keys. Yeah, no, it's true. I guess they're just, I don't know. I kind of understand what he's saying. They're just kind of segueing you into getting to the staking, but they're not gonna, I guess, be that involved where it becomes a unregistered security. So I don't know. Damn, I gotta figure out where the hell we just were. I apologize. Shouldn't have skipped ahead. By accident, though. Didn't mean it. Hold on. Let's see.
Was this I'm trying to figure out. It sounds what you're describing to be a pass-through.
All right. We already watched that. Let's see.
Has Coinbase seen any evidence that suggests all staking is indeed under attack in the United States?
We don't know, but remember, it's really important for the United States to remain a part of the crypto ecosystem. I travel around the world. I talk to policymakers in Asia and Europe and Latin America. The degree to which policymakers around the world understand how transformational this technology is and how critical it is, just like in the early stages of the internet, to be in the, essentially allow the the ecosystem to develop, because its full potential will only be known over time. That is essentially the verdict that's been turned in by most economies around the world, and also by citizens around the world who are sort of voting with their feet and participating in the crypto economy on their own. So I'm hopeful that's not what the message is. If it is, it would be catastrophic for American national security interests.
Do you think regulators, generally speaking, are anti-crypto, or are they trying just to pave the way for Wall Street to take over crypto?
There's I'm a student of government, and it's the role of the political branches to decide if there's an industry that they like or they don't like. And it's a role of the regulators to regulate based on clear direction given by the political branches. In this instance, we need Congress to step up. We've got bipartisan leaders in the House, the Senate, all the relevant committees, Democrats, Republicans, who've all stepped up and said, we want to bring crypto under regulation. We see the innovative potential, and we're going to spend 2023 seeing how far we can get in providing clarity for crypto commodities, crypto securities, and for stable coins. And I think that's a really critical process for regulators to be respectful of, because the political branches have spoken. They wanted to step up and provide broad frameworks around the space. And the president has said as much in his executive order. So I'm hopeful there is no concerted action on the part of regulators. One, because it'd be bad, it'd be against American interests, but it would also preempt the role of Congress and the administration, which should ultimately be setting the outlines of what we do as a country.
Yeah,
so
you also
Coinbase
mentioned that there should be some more regulatory clarity. In Gary Gensler's view, there is clarity already, that there is a whole suite of laws, securities laws, that are clear on how securities should behave. And he thinks most, if a majority of tokens out there are securities. Would Coinbase ever consider registering with the SEC as he has suggested?
Remember, every crypto token is not a security. And this debate over whether crypto is a security or not a security is a very American one.
And there needs to be guidelines. There's nothing, right? There's just, they say there is, but I'm pretty sure nobody in any exchange has ever seen any.
Like I said, I travel all around the world. There's no other country in the world that has as fragmented a regulatory system as we do, and where you have two different market regulators, a commodities regulators and a securities regulator. So if you never step outside the United States, you think this issue about whether crypto tokens are securities or not securities is some sort of kind of existential public policy question that has to be answered. In every other country in the world, they approach this quite simply. There's one market regulator. They provide ground rules around what kind of investor protections you need, what kind of market integrity rules you need. And the crypto ecosystem can operate under those rules to figure out how to innovate, grow, develop, provide products that customers want, while ensuring the customers get the protections and the disclosures that they need. So this question.
So the question was, would Coinbase ever register with the SEC as a bank, a regulated exchange? Or the answer would be no, because you believe that these are not securities.
None of the tokens that we offer on our platform are securities, but we would love to register. We have 2 dormant broker-dealers. We would love to register them. The reality is there is no path to registration. It's not a matter of coming in and talking, filling out a form, and coming in and registering.
That's what it needs to be.
I'd encourage you to have the SEC on and ask them, what is the path to registration? Has anyone successfully done it? What would you register?
Hold on. Can we scroll back a little bit? Look at the guy's face down on the bottom left when he says, I encourage you to have the SEC on. Look at his face. Hold on. Let's blow this up. Ready?
The registration. It's not a matter of coming in and talking, filling out a form, and coming in and registering. I'd encourage you to have the SEC on and ask them, what is the path to regration? Has anyone successfully done it? What would you register as? How do you overcome the fact that tokenized assets are not allowed to be traded either on a broker-dealer or on a national stock exchange? And given that, what's the workaround to allow crypto markets generally, or tokenized debt or equity, to trade in an SEC authorized way? And the answer you'll likely get is, you're right, there is no clarity and no path on any of that. And what I hope with the follow-on answer is, But we will do notice and comment rulemaking to allow the public to participate in a process of how we get there. I think that'd be fantastic. It'd be the American way to do it, and we look forward to being a part of that.
Pretty interesting. So, I don't know. Again, there has to be a lot more, I guess, a dotted line to, write on for all of this staking stuff. If they're going to try to regulate it, they're going to have some sort of guidelines for people to follow, or it's just going to be a free-for-all, like literally shooting fish in a barrel. You don't know what the hell, there's no way out. You're just screwed if you're an exchange at this point. All right, there is another, let me see, one other one where the hell is it? I gotta find it. Give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. This one right here is one I started watching. It was pretty interesting. It's about Ethereum and their unstaking, or the Shanghai upgrade. So let's watch this. I'm pretty interested. You guys have any questions before we get on? 79 watching, 24 likes. Please hit that like button. It takes you guys 2 seconds and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All right, let's listen to this. See what they got to say about Ethereum. I hope the price explodes, because I do hold some.
Let's turn our attention to Ethereum, where as developers gear up for the number 2 blockchain's next major upgrade, thoughts are turning to its potential impact on the token's price. In the fall of last year, many will remember, there was quite a lot of attention paid to the protocol's last major upgrade, which was known as the merge, where the Ethereum blockchain successfully moved to a new consensus mechanism. Even though that transition went well, about as well as it could with no major hiccups, the upgrade actually did little for traders and the price trended lower over the rest of the year. But this time might be different, at least according to some analysts. That's because there are more than 10 million Ether tokens currently locked up in the blockchain's proof-of-work system, and if things go to plan, their owners could take custody of them back. David, what do you think?
First, they're going to have to... there's no way they're going to release all 10 million, right? It's going to be in increments. You're only going to allow to be taken out like some of it, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think that would be terrible.
Yeah. Is that number correct? 10 million? That's less than...
Oh, it's more than that, isn't it?
More than 10 million, 17 million, something like that. It's a lot.
So I guess I would say there are two dynamics here.
Like
Obviously, when you get a big unlock like this, you're going to have people looking for liquidity, so you could have some sales, you could have some downward pressure. However, on the other hand, I think we are in a sort of incipient bullish phase right now, because we have had so much of this, Do Kwon, Luna crap cleared out. There is a sense that we have bottomed, and so you might also see some people hanging on despite this unlock, looking for further upward moves in the sort of medium term. Short term, we might get a little bit of a drop, I think. Zach, what do you think?
I think the halving is priced in. I think the unlock is priced in. I don't know if this is going to see a ton of price activity happen. Hey, I mean, people are probably going to stick to their ETH, right? These people are crazy about this ETH stuff, man. Ethereum seems to be doing pretty well for itself, both as a smart contract platform and Ether as the asset itself. It hasn't reclaimed the glorious highs of its bull run peak, but it's holding steady. I think the incipient bull market vibe out there certainly has a lot to do with, potentially the reading of tea leaves when it comes to the macroeconomic picture as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is the unlock priced in? I'll toss that back to you, Adam. What do you think?
I mean, I think just talking about the incipient bull market narrative, I'm really curious to see if that one winds up playing out. I think that there are a lot of, certainly the Federal Reserve, macro monetary policy, et cetera, they don't want that to happen. But there is that interesting dynamic, which is that because the U.S. is currently in in a extraordinary measures period of the debt ceiling, right, where the Treasury effectively can't borrow any more money directly. So instead what they're doing is they're spending down the cash that they have. That actually is a net stimulative impact, and it's something that's expected to last probably until the end of the spring. So that's something that just got started last month. And basically, it has a significant chance of actually counteracting what the Fed has been doing in terms of trying to tighten monetary policy levers. So I appreciate that suddenly got super wonk. We don't have to talk about this, but I do think that there is an interesting argument for a technical bull market just because of what's going on at Treasury right now. Any further thoughts on that, David?
Yeah, that's true too.
No, I mean, Treasury is definitely fighting against every bull market everywhere and seeming to not have much success on any front. But of course, we have the inverse, right? Where as they fail, the likelihood of further extreme action becomes more likely. Therefore, good news is bad news, et cetera. It's all complicated. And ultimately, we are paid to talk about this stuff, not necessarily to know the future. So we're just doing our best.
In other words, we just work here. Yes, I agree. Crypto 440, what's up, buddy? Happy hump day. Absolutely. Hopefully you guys aren't working too hard today. All right, let's see. So we've listened to a few things. Again, CoinDesk, I'll leave a link to all their videos down in the description below. Go sub to them. They have a bunch of good news articles come out during the week. Weekends, totally dead. But Monday through Friday, they're usually pretty good. Let's see. I want to get into Binance, actually. So they're going to be cutting ties with US, right? Let's just see, I guess, what they have to say with that. If you guys have any questions, just at me in the chat. Nerd Beast Quick said, I think it's dumb that nobody will unstake and sell ETH. I think it is dumb to... Oh, I think it's dumb to think that nobody will unstake and sell ETH. Yeah, so realistically, when it's allowed to be pulled out, I think we're going to see a significant sell-off. But I don't know if they're going to allow them to take out a bunch at a time. It's probably going to be like a minuscule amount, you know what I mean? Just so it doesn't mess anything up. They're going to test it to see what people do, I think. That would be my guess. Because it's kind of, it could be really bad, right? If they're just going to dump all the ETH onto the market, it's going to tank the, the project down to a lower level than it's at, and it's just not going to be good. So, all right, let's see what they have to say about Binance severing U.S. ties.
The SEC chilling effect is real. We've seen the SEC ramp up enforcement actions and other...
What is this guy wearing? Real quick. Is he freezing? It looks like an Ugg boot around his neck. Am I wrong? Oh, man.
Actions against U.S. crypto companies and projects linked to U.S. crypto firms as the SEC tries to bring crypto within its regulatory perimeter. And Binance is responding here seemingly reasonably and saying, hey, we're cutting ties with some of our U.S. crypto involvement. This was first reported by Bloomberg, according to sources, later seemingly confirmed in a tweet by Binance CEO CZ. And it does suggest that the things that we've been seeing recently around, again, various regulatory enforcement actions is making Binance back off from the U.S. scene and take its ball overseas as much as it possibly can. Interesting development in the wake of some pretty high-profile regulatory news this week and last. Lots going on in this one. I saw Adam's hand. I'm going to toss it to him first.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is exactly the type of response that you would expect from large exchanges that are not domiciled in the U.S., but which have kind of these like tentacular networks that reach into all kinds of different places, kind of all over the world.
Great
right?
word,
Crypto
Adam.
is global. Thank you. So, I mean, like, it's not at all surprising to see this. It is also a continuation of trend, which is that you're either a U.S. regulated company, which means that you deal with all of the advantages that come with it, which is access to the U.S. market, and the disadvantages that come with it, which is basically requiring permission for almost everything that you do. And to the extent that you become attractive, well, there's lots and lots of ways for them to go after you. So, I mean, the U.S. determines jurisdiction as far as this stuff goes really on two factors. One is where are the customers, the other is where is the company domiciled. Binance doesn't have any U.S. customers. They have Binance US to handle that part. So this is more about where's the company, which means, again, not a good thing if you're a US-based crypto company. And we had been hearing some rumors about tokens too, but I don't think that actually got confirmed. So Jen, how about down to you?
Yeah, I know. You said this is exactly what we would expect from a firm like Binance. I think this is exactly what the SEC expects too. I think a lot of the recent SEC enforcement and action is expecting firms like Binance to react like this. This is what they're hoping that they're going to do. I was reading the story this morning. It says that they're looking to end relationships with U.S. banks and service firms. What was interesting to me is that the story said that they're considering delisting tokens issued by U.S.-based projects. I know, Adam, you just mentioned that Circle was mentioned in the story. CZ came out on Twitter and said that that's actually not the case. I have PTSD from the last 6 months, so I don't know what to believe. Not trying to FUD or anything. But David, as I hand it off to you, maybe you can help me think about this. What could this mean for Circle if they are delisted from Binance as a result?
Right. What to believe is definitely a question to ask here, because obviously, it's interesting. Whenever you make an announcement before taking the actual action, maybe you have goals other than just saying this is what we're going to do. And in this case, I'm not saying this is actually something that is reasonable to think, but Binance may be operating from some thought that they can threaten and intimidate U.S. regulators into stepping back to say, like, we aren't going to do business over here, and you should somehow take that as a reason to take a lighter touch. I don't know. There is this larger narrative around the fact that this crackdown is going to push crypto activity out of the United States. But I don't think the SEC sees that as a bad thing. So it's not like they have any real leverage here. I
mean, let's be real. If things get pushed out of the United States, that's less bullshit they got to deal with. You know what I mean? So they're not going to see it as a bad thing, to be honest. I mean, it sucks for us, but like at the end of the day, it's, one less thing they got to deal with. And on top of it, I don't know. It's weird all around, but yeah, I get it. Real quick, Sophos in the chat said it's really sad to see China doing real adoption of crypto and the U.S. being behind. Yeah, it is kind of interesting, especially with all that Conflux and SIM card stuff they're starting to do now. So I guess we'll see. But mining over there is still banned, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I don't know. We'll see. I honestly, the thing to keep in mind is that even if there is continued regulatory risk, the U.S. is going to continue to be a major, even maybe dominant market for something like Binance. So as they're saying, we're going to pull out of the U.S., definitely take it with a grain of salt. There's some complexity there.
Jumping
and Adam,
in,
I saw you
I
wanted
think,
to chime in.
Yeah, I think that it's hard. I think it's hard to look at what the regulators are doing and not come away with the idea that this is effectively a form of regulatory protectionism that is going to and is already probably having a net negative effect on people, right? You look at the large frauds that actually have occurred, they haven't succeeded in stopping any of those. You look at something like BUSD, for example, right? So Tether, of course, has long been treated as sort of like, hey, it's the giant thing that we all hate and want to go away because it has all of these problems within kind of the crypto space. It needs it, but the relationship with it is really strained. Part of that is because of the U.S. Part of that is because it's not regulated in the U.S. And there's been a lot of questions about what is going on there. The recent action against Paxos, though, which is the issuer of the white label token BUSD, they are not just a U.S. regulated entity, but they're actually a New York Department of Financial Services regulated entity. So it's kind of hard to find like a more like intense regulator than that. And in practice, what's happened now, or what is likely to happen, is that because BUSD looks like it's going to be wound down because the regulators are unhappy with the US-based issuer, Binance, which had moved away from Tether-based dollar pairs within their very massive exchange, is probably going to go back to Tether because that's the option that they have available to them. So again, like on the one side, here's intentions. On the other side, here's reality in terms of what's actually happening. The reality is that the regulators seem like they are going to be pushing back the world's largest exchange off of a US-based stablecoin and onto one that we know that there have been lots of sketchy issues with and lots of concerns around for a very long time. So, I don't think this is unintentional. I think it's unfortunate. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, the Tether angle is a funny twist. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to read between the lines of the SEC action against Paxos and say, hey, we don't like your involvement with Binance. Notably, the other stablecoins that Paxos issues are not involved in this complaint at all. USDP, formerly Paxos Standard, similar dynamics, similar function, probably does exactly the same thing in terms of redemptions and whatnot that BUSD does. That's off the table. This is strictly about BUSD, and the implication is pretty clear, and CZ heard it loud and clear. He said, okay, if they're going to chip away at, again, the tentacles that reach into the US and make our lives miserable, fine, we're not going to deal with it anymore. And I don't think it's much of a threat. I think it's actually a concession to U.S. regulators that said, okay, I tip my cap to you, sirs. You won this round. We'll see what happens next. Again, I think David's point about, announcing it before you do it is very salient. So we'll see what happens there. But in terms of them being able to exert some leverage by saying, we're not going to be exposing ourselves to even U.S. crypto firms, not to mention U.S. crypto investors, that seems like quite the win for Gary Gensler's approach on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Man, shout out to CoinDesk for coming in clutch with a lot of these videos. These are very informative, to say the least. Let's see. Every time he says regulators, I picture Warren G standing in front of Congress. You're ridiculous, geek of all trades. All right, last one I want to go and watch is Bitcoin retreats after topping 25K earlier. I want to see what their experts say about this, and I don't know, you guys can let me know what you think. Do you think it's going to I guess make it over 25K? I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. Give me 1 second and I'll get this going, and then we'll do that.
Bitcoin is taking a step back from its $25,000 high since August. Joining us now to discuss crypto markets is Katie Talati. She's head of research at investment firm Arca. Welcome, Katie.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Glad to see you. So the SEC in the past 24 hours, they filed charges against Do Kwon and Terraform Labs. Did that have any impact on the crypto markets? It seems that there was a little bit of a sell-off after that all came out.
I would actually say the price action this week has been pretty interesting. Hasn't really been following a lot of the headlines. Actually, we kind of rallied a bit after some of the stablecoin regulation came out earlier this week against Paxos and BUSD. And then, if anything, I would actually say the news that the SEC is suing Terraform Labs and Do Kwon isn't really that impactful to current, prices of digital assets. It's really much more a isolated incident at this point. I think, this event happened 9 months ago or more. Yeah. And really there's not much more that, can kind of be that can kind of impact the market, I think, from that standpoint. I think much more of the performance is tied kind of partially to the macro picture, partially to the fact that, there's this kind of regulation overhang looming over the market right now. And then also I think the market is rallying despite these efforts because there's actually been some good news for, Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for other assets in the market.
So do you think, though, when it comes to the headlines, you said that it rallied in spite of the headlines, but do you think that perhaps it rallied because of the headlines? In other words, people dumping BUSD for Bitcoin as a flight to safety, maybe not selling it out for another stablecoin just yet, but sort of saying, hey, look, you know what? Let's just buy that Bitcoin, get rid of the BUSD we have on our books. God knows where it's going to be. And remember, Binance is the largest exchange in the world. And if you wanted to use the stablecoin, you had to use BUSD when you were on there. So now you got to dump it for something. They dumped it for Bitcoin and maybe some other crypto. Do you think that that's kind of what led to this pop in prices as the news started coming out? The rumors first, before the news came out, that led to this rally in the. What
do you guys think? Do you think that was the reason? I mean, now that he brings it up like that, it sounds pretty legit, to be honest. Like why people would be, nervous about the BUSD getting out of it and going right into Bitcoin. I mean, because it's more, it's more of a security than just holding some random ass crypto, right? So good on them for bringing up that point. And whoever transitions the screens and all that, I don't know if it's the lady that does it, the woman in red there that does all this, but they do a fantastic job, with everything on this CoinDesk TV. So good on them.
The past few days.
So I actually think it's more the opposite. I think that a lot of people were kind of expecting worse regulation.
Magic Lucky said, if I was nervous about stablecoins, I'd buy BTC. And that's, I'm right with you, man.
To come out. And so for a lot of people, they were front running that news, selling off. And as soon as they saw that it was kind of not nearly as dire. For example, there was a rumor going around online that Circle had received a notice and that they were being sued as an unregistered security, which seemed really out of left field. And that was quickly proven to be fake. But for example, I think a lot of people were kind of expecting something more hardlined along those lines. And I think that, going after BUSD, while sort of surprising, was not completely out of left field. To be clear, BUSD is the preferred stablecoin on Binance's exchange, but they do also support Tether USDT for trading. So it's not like customers would have another option necessarily. And then in addition to that, we've actually been watching kind of like stablecoin AUM and flows for BUSD for the last bit of time. And we've seen definitely like a decrease compared to like Circle or USDC and Tether. But we aren't seeing anything like, 10-15% decrease in stablecoin AUM day over day, really more in the 3 to 5% range.
All right. Well, over the past week, we've seen Bitcoin on a tear, rallying and breaching $25,000. Now, some profit taking happening. Do you see this as just a bear market rally or something that could potentially be more sustainable?
44 votes. Get your vote in. It's a 50-50 split right now. What do you guys think? 25K? Bitcoin break soon? This week, maybe? Probably not, but I guess I want you guys to tell me what you think.
It could be something more sustainable. As I kind of mentioned earlier, there's some like really interesting things happening on Bitcoin, very much under the radar, but kind of the new theme that's been emerging in the last week or so has been Bitcoin NFTs. So basically a layer on top of Bitcoin where people can have a Satoshi represent one particular NFT. So this has potentially led to way more activity on Bitcoin and makes a use case that, Bitcoin could increase its fees, which would be better for miners since mining rewards will eventually run out in the future. So that's,
You shut your mouth, lady. Mining rewards will never run out. You guys don't listen to that, all right? It's tomfoolery. And the Geek of All Trades said, when did this chat become carpool karaoke?
Definitely increased a lot of activity and hype around Bitcoin, I would say, in the last couple of weeks. That could also be a reason for Bitcoin's rally or increase in activity. But that's definitely going to be something that will be felt over the longer term.
Let's switch gears and look at the NFT marketplace. So OpenSea's dominance in the NFT ecosystem is...
Way to go, Badigi Crypto. Chump loves NFTs. As soon as you say that, they switch gears to NFTs. The hell, man. Kind of like insider trading, only different. You must have knew what was happening here.
Being challenged by competitor Blur and their rapid ascent. They've also airdropped a native token that is surging in price.
Blur.
Do you see users sticking to the platform after the airdrop, given the competitiveness of the NFT marketplace?
So it seems like people will for now. The big differentiator between Blur and OpenSea, there's a few things. They definitely have more, I would say, professional tools for folks who are trading large amounts of NFTs. The second thing is that Blur doesn't charge any fees right now, which is why they've been able to gain such a big user base, and they've been able to actually beat out OpenSea on volumes in the last little bit of time.
That's interesting.
They also announced with airdropping their token on Wednesday that they're going to be continuing to offer token incentives for people trading on the platform. So right now, there's really no incentive to go back to OpenSea. Most people are going to be, choosing to stick to Blur, especially if they're on the more professional NFT trading side of things.
That's a good point too. Jason Hamilton said, I think Friday payrolls make Bitcoin pumps. People love getting 10% back on paying their bills. And yeah, makes sense. BTC has had merge mining for years, said Retro Mike. Interesting.
Do you see any concern in terms of the volumes? I mean, this seems to get kind of like to have spiked out of nowhere, so to speak. Is there any concern that whether or not the volumes are serious?
I mean, that's definitely a concern. I mean, I think in any kind of airdrop program, a lot of projects definitely see a spike in activity when people know that an airdrop is coming. It's called farming airdrops. People are trying to increase their own activities so they can increase their chances of getting this free token allocation. However, this didn't technically come out of nowhere. Blur launched last fall, and I mean, the NFT marketplace volumes have been moving steadily up since about December, I think the week around Christmas. And a lot of that activity was definitely being driven by Blur. The main difference between Blur and an OpenSea and a lot of other platforms is that it allows you to bulk buy and bulk sell NFT collections. And because NFTs are obviously each very distinct, it's really hard on a place like OpenSea to say, hey, I want to buy 10 NFTs from this one collection. It doesn't matter which ones, I just want the cheapest ones. You can't actually do that anywhere in most venues except Blur. So the fact that Blur allows that has increased the volume, because instead of people having to say, oh, I have to go individually and do one transaction per NFT trade, they can go and say, hey, I want to buy 10 at once or 20.
Pretty interesting. I put a poll in the chat, a new one. I want to know if you guys own any NFTs. I don't. I'm not a huge fan of NFTs, to be honest. But huge shout out to CoinDesk for all of that stuff today. That was pretty interesting news, to be honest. And then who's the one that mentioned Callisto? And what I don't even remember why it was mentioned in the chat, to be honest. So if you guys could remind me of that. I want to look into it a little bit though. I forget what it was about. All right. AMA time. If you guys have any questions, please hit that like button, guys. I know it's very hard to get off the live chat, but if you just hit the X, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, I don't even care. Just do something and then open it back up. Takes 2 seconds. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. WWW. All the ETH I minted went into NFTs. Interesting. Okay. All right. So for anybody that does have NFTs, and you can type, I guess, right? If you're not driving, obviously be safe about it. But I'm just kind of interested, like, what makes you so into NFTs? Is it just the hype right now in the space, or is there an actual reason that you like the NFTs? I'm just wondering, because like, aren't you nervous that you might lose value on these things? I'm just kind of, I don't know, man. It makes me it would make me nervous, right? If I paid X amount of money for this NFT, it doesn't mean I'm ever going to get that money back. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like reselling it, like if it will ever devalue itself, I don't know. I guess I'm not fully educated in the NFT space, but that's like what I see it as. Non-custodial staking. Okay, interesting. Mine were all free, said Dave Jack. Nice. So, well, all right. So I know there's a lot of things out there, right, where you can literally take an NFT or a picture, whatever you want, right? Make it an NFT, mint it with X amount of Ethereum or however much you want, realistically, right? And then you could. There was what was it? I think Melania Trump, I think, made a NFT where they found out that the money came from the same wallet. It like came out of this wallet somewhere else, minted the NFT, and then basically bought it from themselves to make it seem like it was more valuable. That just, the whole thing is sketchy to me, right? So I don't know. It just makes me nervous. The only NFTs I have are Virtual Land. Virtual Land? What the hell's that? I'm gonna have to Google it. Geek of all trades, because I don't even know. Virtual Land. Oh, what is it? Just like a landscape? All virtual land exists in a digital environment, also known as a metaverse. So it's metaverse stuff? Interesting. So it's called Virtual Land? Makes sense. So just don't buy the sketchy NFTs. Yeah, so I don't. I don't know what you wanted out of that comment, but yeah, no, I don't. I don't support NFTs unless they personally get let's see, if they get like a medical record or a deed to a house or a doctor's things, like that stuff makes sense, right? Like it just, I don't know. Anything other than that doesn't really make much sense to me. Like pictures, I don't understand it. I really just don't. I don't know. They're all sketchy. No, I mean, yeah. To me personally, I think NFTs are kind of sketchy just because it's like, I feel like it's just a way for people to make a bunch of money off of thin air, but that's just my opinion. I mean, everybody's opinion is different. That's why I'm asking you guys, because I want to be more educated on the situation, I guess, instead of just thinking it's just a picture. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want your gaming skins and items to be NFTs so you can resell. See, that's cool though. Like Digi Crypto, sorry. That's cool. I like that idea. right? So you could buy things and then resell them and you wouldn't lose them. That would be a cool idea. I don't even know if that's a thing yet. If that's a thing, that's awesome. But if it's not a thing and it's just like, you know, you take a picture, you can mint it for whatever you want. Technically, you could just mint it and send it into a different wallet that you still own. And like now you could just say it's worth this much because, hey, look, somebody bought it from me, but that somebody was you. You know what I mean? Am I wrong? I don't know. That's the way I look at it. It's kind of weird. There are scammers in coins as well. No different. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Absolutely. There's scammers everywhere with tokens, with crypto in general. It's just NFTs kind of seem like it just seems so apparent, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you could just see right through it. Just transparent. Let's see. Retro Mike. You can license physical goods too. It just adds ownership to a blockchain. What did Retro Mike say? It's a way to license digital goods. Interesting. I only hold PNG NFTs. Him and this pigeon coin. Is that what you're talking about? It's hysterical. All right, let's see. If you guys have any other last questions, let's talk about it. Crypto Mikkel said most of SOL NFT trading is bots trading each other. Yeah, see, that's weird, right? Is that me, or is that like just sketchy all around? I don't know. It's strange. Very strange. We got about 5 more minutes. Actually, I'm gonna kill this poll in the chat. If you guys could please hit that like button, I appreciate it. We have 42% say yes and 58% say no. You do not hold NFTs. Yeah, I don't hold any personally. But I did when NFTs first came out. I had a thought of creating Misfit Mining NFTs. Someone said that in the chat. But again, once I realized that you could like literally mint them for whatever you wanted and charge whatever you wanted, I can't treat you guys like that. That's so weird to me. I don't like that. I don't want to just take your money for pictures. Like I'd rather just give you the logo and be like, here you go, enjoy. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a dick move to like take, like, you're just taking money from your friends. That's pretty much what's happening. You know what I mean? If you're making an NFT, that's just my opinion, but I don't know. Yeah, but you charge a monthly fee. Yeah. Are you DigiCrypto? Sorry. I can't get that back. What does that mean? DigiCrypto. Sorry, I'm not following. But I could resell the Chump NFT. Yeah, I guess you can make your money back, but you're just, in theory, just taking it from somebody else, right? It's just kind of like going in a circle. Does that make sense? I don't know. But what are you talking about? Charge a monthly fee? What you charge a monthly fee? Are you saying I could charge a monthly fee? You could make an NFT watch. I like cool watches. Actually, you know what? Hold on. What's the deal with the Flux watch? Does that have something to do with NFTs? Or no? I can't remember. I feel like I heard something like that the other day. I don't remember though. Or is it just a watch? Ah, right here. Okay. This is what I was. Let me pull this up. Go for a few more minutes. Whatever this article is. How's that? Let me zoom in a little bit. So Flux partners with watchmaker TSAO for the first ever NFT based limited edition watch. What on earth does that mean? The Titan Legacy watch will be limited run of high-end watches linked to a unique NFT built on the KDA blockchain stored on the okay, so they're gonna make an NFT of the watch you purchase. Is that what that means? I apologize for my ignorance. I'm just trying to understand this a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. This design and launch, 2 key points. Let's see. I don't want to read this whole thing. I just don't have time for it. If you guys want, we can talk about this a little later as well. But it was just, let me see. The face will show the NFT. Oh, so inside here, we'll show. Oh, like this? Is that what you're saying? Interesting. That'd be kind of cool. I really do like this watch, actually. I'm a big watch guy. I like that. That's a really cool looking watch. But I heard they're like $1,200. I don't know if these ones are more expensive or not, but that's yeah, I don't know. As long as it's a good company. I've never heard of the company, so I don't know. But this watch looks sick. I would love that. Let's see. All right, let me pull up what you guys are saying quick. The NFT is a proof of ownership of the watch. You'll probably get a pretty picture to present to. But it's all about the ownership. Yeah, that makes sense. The limited edition, the NFT proves authentic ownership. Interesting. Ken. Who's Ken? Ken and the hobbyist were chatting about it. Who's Ken? You mean Dan Keller? Sorry, Dazzle. I'm not sure who Ken is. Well, let's see. At a high level, you get a real physical watch and an NFT of it like a title. Yeah, that's a good idea. Sorry, Dan Keller. Okay. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, Dan Keller. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I like that idea. But see, like that has a purpose, right? So that's kind of like buying a car and having a title to that car. Instead, this is a watch and you have a proof of ownership of that watch. And that makes sense. I get that. That's kind of cool. I like that idea. Because it's like, it give it a real use case. It's not just a picture of a monkey smoking a cigar, tripping on acid. Like, what the hell's that about? I don't understand it. Network Bits, what's up, buddy? How you doing? You dirty rat. You dirty rat. That's what Geek of All Trades is calling you. The real question is, does an NFT watch get the ladies? I don't know, man. I've been off the market for a while, so I'm not sure. It might. I don't even know if my wife's here listening. But she'd probably say no. She'd probably say no. Actually, it reminds me. I had a watch this morning. I left it somewhere. It's upstairs. But I do enjoy wearing watches, and that black Flux watch is actually pretty sick. I do like it a lot. The black and blue. It looks cool. Automatic beats. I caught a little bit of that, and then you retracted it. Let's see. Yeti, what did he say? Retro Mike, I'm still waiting for Network Bits to end up with an HNT tattoo. Network Bits, you know how funny that would be? Can you please go get one? That would be great. That would be great. I saw that and I don't disagree, said Geek of All Trades. I only read the beginning of it. I saw the beginning. I didn't see the whole thing. All right. I gotta get out of here. Go to the new KDA one, Chump Change. We can go to the new KDA one. I don't know. I don't know what that means. All set miner. But if you send it in the chat in VIP, send the link and I'll look at it because I'm not sure. But anyway, guys, I have to get out of here. I do have to take care of my kids. The wife has to get to work. So hopefully you guys have a good Wednesday. It's hump day, tail end of the week. So let's get through it together. Hopefully I'll be back around 2 p.m. this afternoon. And if you guys have any suggestions of what you'd like to talk about this afternoon, leave it down in the comments or let me know in Discord. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll catch you soon. Peace out. And that's not going to work. Oh, it did work. Peace out, guys. Have a good day. Smash that like on the way out, please.